So today we have this subject that is pain of separation. It's a very deep subject, and it touches all of us in our normal life, where we have relations, where we come from parents, where we will die. So how deep is this pain of separation in my perspective? Pain of separation, it can be really deep, because somehow we as a soul, as a spiritual being, we move from the totality of consciousness that is a pure state, to the duality of this life that is the recognition, the embodiment of me and you. When the baby starts to come out through the process of birth, that a lot of in psychology, especially on the lineage of trauma, we say that is the first trauma for a human being. That is when the baby really feels the separation from the physicality of the mother, and comes out from the liquid environment to this breathing air and earth environment. That brings a big trauma in the human being, in this human being, that starts to do the separation physically, and the separation from the first environment, that was the ether from the consciousness, and the liquid where the body starts to development, to a more solid environment, and at the same time air environment, the first breath. So we are dealing with a big separation and duality in the first moment. So the pain of separation is a very deep pain that we all carry, and especially the way then we are raised, especially we were loved or not loved, will bring the first blueprints to what we will and how we will feel this pain of separation, and how it means to separate from love. So when we are in this pain of separation that we deal since birth, since we come from consciousness to physical body, and then from the separation from the baby to the mother, the independence of the first 7 years, and then the pain of separations that we deal in relation, is always carrying this deeper state of awareness of separation. That's why this theme is so important to be looked and to be faced, and to work with it during our daily life. So when we are in the situation that we are separating from another person, nobody before taught us that everything in this life we can understand rationally. We can even read this in books, in Kabbalah, in the Buddhist spiritual books, even in any religious philosophies, they will speak about this. But it means that we didn't embody the principle that everything is transforming, and transformation means that nothing is lost but is transformed. But we are attached to this idea and concept and feeling that we want to hold something forever, because somehow gave us a sense of security, even if that situation was very painful. So for example, if you are in a very toxic relation, most of people will say that they want to stay there, not because of love, for sure, not because they are respected for sure, but in a very unconscious way, they prefer something that is really known and they already know that they have this little thing than nothing. And this jump into nothingness is very scary for most of us, especially in the way our society lives and how we are raised. We are raised to control everything. We are raised to be suspicious of everything. We are not raised to be in trust, to be authentic, to jump into the unknown. So everything that will bring a possibility of cutting or losing something that we already know and we are used to, it will automatically open the wound of separation. So most of us that we are touching the pain of separation, what we are touching is the emotion that is attached of losing that thing, or losing that person, or losing that situation. Is not a true pain of the separation. Is what we are losing from that relation, from that situation. When the emotional body starts to feel the fear of loss, starts to feel the regret, start to feel the instability of the known, what happens is that we activate immediately this deeper pain that I was speaking in the beginning. And that's why the pain of separation through divorce, separation in relations, losing people, they can open us, they can teach us how to become even more aware. So every time that we feel the emotional body opening the pain of separation through the emotion that we are feeling and through the patterns of thinking, these are the arrows that they are pointing the unconscious parts of your being and the wounds that you carry. Because in a very present space, in a very conscious space, you know that life is always transforming, and you will use what you are experiencing for your own journey of true blossoming in consciousness. When we are really and strongly attached to some emotions and thoughts, it's somehow we are still defending ourselves from the pain. So in pain of separation, it's very easy to point the finger to the other. It's very easy to be attached to what happened. So we really give the right to feel the pain. And through this, what I want to say is that pain that you are feeling is giving you the direction where you need to grow exactly in this part of your awareness, and that will expand. And of course, you as a whole being, you will start to be more present and to rise more. So the true liberation is when you feel at peace. There's nothing that you have that is still holding you to that experience and to that person. That doesn't mean that your good memories are still there. That doesn't mean that you can miss, for example, for people that they lose someone. That doesn't mean that you miss, but you miss without the charge of big emotions. That you don't feel stuck in strong emotions because you don't have the person or the situation in your existence. It means that somehow you could understand, you could process, and especially you could learn and transform everything from that experience layer by layer into wisdom again. So you come out even lighter. You come out with much more wisdom. What I want to tell you is emotional body has its own timing for each person. The mind body, understanding everything, normally can be faster if we are really willing to face the situation and to work. So at the rational mind is faster, but the emotional body has a different timing of processing all the experience. And normally this emotional body is rooted on how you did the first separations in your life. So if you were really supported, if your individuality was supported to become independent in a healthy way or not. So for each person, the timing will be always different, totally different for everyone. But the capacity of dealing and the timing of the emotional body to process will be slower than your rational mind. That's why many people say, I understand, I need to forgive. I understand that I did this, that person did that. I understand it. But emotionally, we are attached to that pain. Why? Because this pain is just a big projector of how we were dealing with the first pains of separation. So that's why it's so important when you are in this pain of separation, you feel all these strong emotions or sadness or numbness, you really look and you come back into your history and you start to deal with that. And now, how to deal in practical daily life. So the most important thing is, if the pain that you carry from that separation is deep and strong, if it's a mourning or a true separation in relation, you need to look for support. And you can find support in therapists, your spiritual guides, in prayer, in God, and with friends. First of all, you have the right to share your emotions as long you need, till you realize that what you are sharing is still true, or if you are attached to complaining. One thing is to really express your true emotions and what you feel. Another thing is to be addicted to complaining. So be aware where you are, and you only can do this with honesty. That's why it's so important to have a good therapist that can give you straight and direct feedback, or to support you how to see different perspectives till you really get the responsibility of what happened in that situation. Normally, a process of mourning takes 2 years. The most intense part, the heaviest part, normally, and separation and divorce too. Normally, for a separation from some relation that was very deep, that we were very close and intimate, and even the opposite, very toxic and very painful and very abusive, this process of turning all this complexity into wisdom, into true healing, normally this process takes around 2 years. But one thing I am sure is, the more you are willing to face and to do the process, and you give yourself the chance to do it, the easier it becomes to come back to your present and to hold all the emotions, all the thoughts, to pass through it. So when we are in this deep process of pain, I highly advise that you don't isolate yourself. This is one of the most important tools that you have, is not isolating yourself, is looking for true help, so you can be supported, first of all, so you have a safe environment where you can cry, where you for a certain time you can complain, so you can purge all these pains and emotions, but at the same time to be held in a space where we are holding awareness, where we don't transform in ourselves in a victim, or that we would like to have revenge, but that we really support a place that we pray for healing, that we pray that we become from it, and we understand why something happened. Even, for example, if we lose someone, and when life just takes us, to accept that we don't control life. It's such a strong healing, such a strong process of expanding awareness that we need to all to do. And what I see in people that they are really ready to work with that is that the process of separation from a relation, from a situation, that can be losing the job, that can be losing a company too, the death of someone, it can be very beautiful. And I really want to leave you with this. There's nothing in life, there's no experience in life that we can go through. We can always go through. We can always deal, and we can always learn from it, and to expand and to fly and to move into the direction of our true essence that is much bigger, and it's beyond what we feel and think. So a true process of separation can open you, all of us, to such a depth of what is the true essence of being alive.